In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace your crank position sensor on a 2.4 liter in a Jeep Patriot. It's located under the airbox above the transmission area. Some engine sensors may require a relearn. So let's disconnect our air intake. Just turn these counterclockwise, one turn, half turn, pull this tube out. Now you can see the negative battery cable. We'll disconnect that. That's going to be a 10mm wrench or socket. Get it loose enough so that you can turn and then lift it right off. I'm going to tuck this out of the way so it doesn't ground out. So let's get ready to start moving our airbox. I'm going to dismount the bracket to the strut tower, 10mm socket. Get that out of the way. And then I'm going to take an 8mm socket or a flathead screwdriver and I'm going to take the air hose to the throttle body off from the airbox. Let's take that air line off the box. Okay, let's see how much it's mounted here. So it's got rubber feet that go into this little bushings. So you want to pull them up like that. Let's move over to the engine cover. We'll just pop this up. Make sure it's we have clearance. So now that the negative's disconnected, we can disconnect our module. And you're going to push down on that little black tab right there and push up on the red connector. Bring it all the way forward and you see how the connector comes up. Now it's clear to lift up, set aside. Same here, push down on that tab, lift up, set aside. There is one ground wire, so we're going to have to disconnect that, 10mm socket. Now I'm going to put that socket back in, just a couple of turns by hand. Now the box should be fairly clear to come up. Take this little connector off. Let's take the hose off the valve cover right here. Breather. Let's get that out of the way. So now that the airbox is out of the way, the position of this crank position sensor is right here. So we're going to have to go in at this angle and take a few things out and get that sensor out. All right, so now we're here where the crank position sensor is. This is the upstream O2 sensor connector, and we're going to take this off of that shield. Take that clip off. Oh, we'll leave the clip on, but we're going to disconnect this to give us some good throw. Move that aside. Now we're going to take this shield out of the way, this heat shield. So right here we have a 10mm socket. So wrench or socket, I'm going to use a deep 10mm. There we go. Set that aside. Let's grab that. There we go. Okay, you can see the shield now goes down past the back of the engine here. And there's the two other mounting bolts. So 10mm socket, and we're going to get right on those and take those out of the way so we can get the shield out. So now that I've loosened that middle one, I'm going to take that all the way out. And then move on to that bottom bolt. All right, so now we're on the bottom bolt, and that is a 13mm socket. Break that free. Now let's grab that shield and bring it up. Take this other O2 sensor clip off. Let's pull it right off. So I found a 1/4" drive 10mm sockets. W to work the best with a short 1/4" ratchet. Let's see if I can get it the rest of the way by hand. Nope. Now you can see how the connector, you really can't see it. And from below, you can't see anything. So it's not even worth trying to go from underneath. So at this point, I'm just going to disconnect it, the harness, once I pull the sensor out. It has a lock tab on it and everything. So I can get this bolt out the rest of the way. There we go. Set it aside. I'm going to grab that sensor with the connector on it. See if I can pull that out. Just like that. And now you can pull it up to the top half of the engine with that harness connected. And we're going to take a small screwdriver. We'll disconnect the safety lock, pushing up. Just like that. Now you can push down that lock tab and pull it off. So now I have the new crank position sensor. I'm going to put a little silicone paste on that seal. And I'm going to put her back in. So at this point, I don't think I need to put the harness back on because it's just a matter of clicking it and locking it in place. I might get an actual better view or feel with that harness disconnected. So now let's bring the sensor down. Put it into place. Push it down, make sure it's mounted. Line that bolt hole up. There we go. Start it by hand. Actually, I'm going to put it this down as far as I can. All right, so we put our 10mm socket on there, and I'm just going to snug it up the best I can. And we'll see if we can get our torque wrench in there. Okay, I'm going to get a 10mm swivel on this just to get that final torque in with an extension. And it is 80 inch-pounds. Okay, that's tight. Now get our harness. Bring that wire back down the way it goes. Let's connect it in. All right, push it down till it clicks. And then take that red tab and the locking tab, push that down. Okay, so now let's bring our heat shield back down. I'm going to put it on the top bolt. Put that nut on to start it. Then I'm going to take the larger bolt with a 13mm head socket. Let's get that one started. Let's get the middle bolt. That's the short stubby with the 10mm head socket. Okay, now let's get our ratchet and start tightening these up. There we go, we're going to snug it up. Snug it up. And now we have the last one on the top. Okay, so now we have the top of the shield. Let's slide that all the way in, like that. Let's take our nut, start it. We can snug that up. Now let's reconnect our O2 sensor. We have that other clip that goes down on the shield. Find the location and push it on. There we go. Now take our upper O2 sensor connector, clip that, bring it on down, lock it in. So before we put our airbox in, we're going to take the module PCM connectors and let's get them up and out of the way. Now you can line up those 3 push pins and those rubber grommets. Line it up and give it a push. Just push it right down. I'm going to put my breather hose on. Just push it right on. Let's line up that air intake hose. There we go. So it did help to pull it back out of the front bushing. Now we're going to put this mounting screw on this bracket. Just hand tight. Let's grab our PCM connectors. I'm going to put the gray one on first. That way I can put this clip on. So you're going to line it up straight on there. Wiggle it till it hits all those little pins, and then bring this handle down, and you see how it pulls itself down, and it will lock. Here, click. Let's do the same to this one. Make sure it's straight and not at an angle. Then pull this down and it locks. Our ground cable goes over here. Just going to bring it out there. See how I connect everything before I get my tools to tighten? Because then it's just a one-shot deal to tighten everything up. 10mm socket. Going to do the bracket first. And now the ground. Don't hit that too hard. Just make sure it's snug. Now we're going to do the 8mm socket. We're going to tighten up this hose clamp. Make sure that rubber piece is in line with that airbox. There's a little cutout for it. You'll see it. Now we can put our negative cable back. $10mm socket or wrench. Now before I snug that up, I like to hold on to the back side of the cable, the terminal, shall I say, so that way it puts no pressure on that lead battery terminal. Now we can put our air dam inlet air. Just line that up. Kind of falls right into place. These tabs will be facing the same way. Then turn a quarter turn clockwise. The engine cover has these bushings right here. There's 4 of them, 2 in the back, 2 in the front, and they go right into those little rubber caps. Line them up. Then line up the dipstick, push down. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.